the big driver in making this memorial a reality? Fred?
Fellow Crusader alumni, beloved parents, worthy instructors, and all the relatives of the Crusader alumni and Crusader supporters that are here today. Thank you for being here today for this historic dedication of this memorial to the Crusaders Drum and Bugle Corps. I don't think any other Drum and Bugle Corps has a memorial that's going to match this. Today we are here to praise the Crusaders, not to bury them. The spirit of Crusaders lives on in us and in past generations that has been passed on to us. It is this spirit that inspired me 2 years ago as I gazed out across these fields and imagined that I saw myself still marching out there, many of my friends who are with us today, and a few that aren't. Still marching, still practicing, trying to create something that we thought was beautiful and wonderful, and something that was unique that we hadn't done before. We hadn't done it in school, and we found it out here, that organization that brought us all together. It was at that time that I was out here that I was inspired with the thought of erecting a monument to the young men and women of the Crusaders Drum and Bugle Corps, and to all those wonderful people that had sponsored us and supported us through all those years when we were just young ones. After discussion of the concept with an acceptance of the concept of a memorial with the Alumni Association, it was decided to set up a memorial project committee. An announcement was made concerning the project, and we really didn't go out and raise funds. There was no one knocking at anyone's door, sending emails. People just dug into their pockets freely, and the funds came rolling in. I thought it was the most wonderful thing I'd ever seen before. No solicitations were made. It was just unquestioning giving of funds with the understanding that something meaningful and inspiring would be presented and would be installed here today. And that memorial would be part and representative of the Crusader tradition, starting back in the mid-40s and leading all the way up to the late 60s. And that it would integrate those traditions into one memorial that would stand for all of us. Within a short time, all funds were gathered, and through the cooperation, and I mean just unquestioning cooperation of the village of Millstadt with Mayor Novak and village trustee Laura Schaefer and all the village trustees, this location was approved, and we thank them all for their just generous support. We're here today because of the work of the Alumni Association, drum majors Terry Miles, Glenn Schaefer, Crusader Alumni President Mary Andrews, my brother Larry Konetsky, and Harold Hughes, that he worked with Glenn on the foundation that we have our memorial on today. And all the wonderful work of Don Tish of Tish Monument. He's created just a spectacular memorial to the past, to our past, and to our history. And of course to all of you that gave their spiritual, physical, and financial, very generous financial support of this project. And I would like to conclude with a round of applause for all of our past and present efforts to create this memorial dedication today, and to thank everyone here today.
I want to thank everybody for being here also. A lot of work went into this, and you know, it means a lot to all of us. It's impossible to thank everybody that helped make this what it is today. But we'd like to acknowledge a couple of people who, without them, developed as they did. Roger and Adam, for all their hard work and dedication to teach us what we learned and how we learned it, and Roger's creativity with his drills and uniforms and all that he did for us. The time that they donated was just something we can't ever express enough. For me, the Crusaders was a family away from my family, and I think that was true for a lot of us. We had our moments of discontent with each other over the years. We were young, we were teenagers, but when it counted most on the field, we all pulled through and did our very best, and not only on the field, but I think off the field, we learned a lot of valuable life lessons, and for that I'm always grateful. I think that's gone on long enough, and so without further ado, Fred, Terry,
Ready, Fred? Yeah.
some of our members of our drum line have put together a little repertoire for all of us. I'd like to bring up Terry Husky, Tim Ray, Bob Trutman, Rich Carson, and Ron Dill. We're ready for you. Okay.
We're the Crusader Alumni Concert Drum Line. We were formed last year at the reunion when I suggested to some of the drummers that it might be fun to get together and play. And if you're surprised by the number of instruments, so am I. I had envisioned we would play on practice pads and just kind of fiddle around and, for your entertainment. Rich and Bob came up last fall, and after that the emails started to come in, what kind of drum should we buy? So this has kind of exceeded my wildest expectations. And we tried to decide what to call ourselves. You'll notice there's only 5 players, and we're always looking for more players. And since Bob lives in Madison County, and we're always scouting for new players, we thought we'd call ourselves the Madison Scouts. But then someone said that they thought that name might have already been taken. So we decided on the Crusaders Alumni Concert Drum Line. And we say concert because we don't march. Now, Roger will tell you that even in the 60s, the drum line really didn't march a whole lot anyway. But now we march even less. So we kind of walk. But anyway, our program this year is Quo Vadis, the DCI question. And in 1962, the Royal Airs opened with their show Quo Vadis. So we are asking DCI, where are you going? Because drum corps has changed pretty radically. If you haven't seen drum corps lately, DCI has changed things in ways you may not have imagined. So we are going to trace that evolution, beginning with a classic snare drum solo, the Connecticut half